This video is sponsored by EA, and the content captured represents a work in progress as a non-final version of the game. Hello everybody, this is Punisher with your exclusive first look at two new Battlefield Turning Tides DLC maps, Cape Hells and Achibaba. We got chances Game Changers to play these two maps earlier in the week, and as you can see, these maps are early concept maps. They have not even added the textures to them yet, but this was just a bunch of us getting together, kind of testing the map layout, trying to find bugs as necessary, and giving feedback to the developers directly. Even as we were playing, they were in there playing with us. So that being said, you get to see some of these new maps, including new weapons, and you get to see a new game mode, at least a new game mode if you're new to Battlefield. This map, Cape Hells, as we're seeing right now, is Conquest Assault's new mode that we're seeing with this DLC. If you're familiar with Battlefield 2, Battlefield 3 earlier titles, they had Conquest Assault on certain maps like Strike at Karkin, which is one of people's favorite maps. So anyway, Cape Hells, I were using Conquest Assault on here, and we were testing it out to see how it worked. And as you can see, basic description of the map and how Conquest Assault works is you have a set of flags that are all captured by the defending team, and it is the attacking team's responsibility or job to land and then try to capture the points. And ultimately, you try to capture all of the points, at which time the defenders can no longer spawn and the attackers win the match. Or you do a seesaw battle between flags, and whoever has the highest ticket count at the end of the round wins. So that is how Conquest Assault works. It is an interesting game mode and something that does work on some maps and does not work on others. General consensus with this map is that Conquest Assault should be the mode here, and do not, it can either work as Conquest Assault or Conquest, but not both. But so we were playing Conquest Assault. Now, another thing that you can notice here is I'm using one of the new weapons. This is the Browning 1917 LMG support weapon. Okay, this is 250 round LMG, and the best description to it that I can relate to the vanilla weapons that we already have in Battlefield 1 is the MG15, but with less recoil. So this is a very effective weapon. It was really good, and most people agreed that it was very enjoyable. All right, next weapons that we saw were two versions of a self-loading rifle, the Farquhar. There's two versions. One was what I believe will be called the optic version. It had the red dot optic that we see in the vanilla weapons, like the KO Rigotti optic. And then you have the one that I'm using here, which has what looks to me almost like a Garand type sight, which a lot of people liked, really did. But this would be, I guess, the trench version. They call it the stability version, as you can see there. But both are really good weapons. A lot of people, again, most people that use both of these guns really enjoyed them. Most, I think, favored the optical over this one, but they still were both very good weapons, and I had a lot of fun with them. One of the things to take note of is the 20-round magazine that these guns have. These make these medic guns quite effective as opposed to previous guns where you would have 5 or so rounds and you would really only be able to engage 1 to maybe 2 targets at the most. These give you the ability to actually go against multiple targets and be able to take them down if you can aim and get your shots off quick enough. We got to use two new sniper guns in the game also. Here you can see me using the Arisaka. Now this is an open sight gun. Both guns are open sights, as a matter of fact. But this is an open sight gun. Most people attributed this to like the Russian 95. But you could see, I thought it was very good. And I, usually I'm terrible at open sights, but I did fairly well with this gun. All right, so the second gun I'm using here is the other sniper rifle, the Carcano. Again, this is very similar to the Arisaka in both design and capability, but I believe that the Carcano has a slightly faster reload and is a little better at closer ranges, whereas the Arisaka has a little longer range sweet spot. But you know, this was a really good gun. Also, I didn't get to play these a lot. I really concentrated on the support gun and the medic guns. This next weapon that you're seeing now is actually an assault gun. This is the M12 P16. My best description I could tell you is take a G18, put a stock on it, and you have a high rate of fire close quarters weapon that is brutally effective up close. Matter of fact, it has virtually no recoil, and the hip fire is just sick. Even at decent ranges, a lot of people are doing really well with it. I didn't play it a lot myself, but you know, this is what it looks like. It's an interesting gun. The one thing that I wasn't crazy about is the reload. The reload is really long, and you will find that it can get you in trouble if you're trying to reload prematurely. So what did I think about Cape Helles? Well, I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was you know, pretty good map. There's a couple little issues that I didn't really care for. For instance, there's a lot of exposure on the front beachhead from the attacking team. The amphib boats would land, and you could spawn on the amphib boats, and the defenders could actually be right beside the boats. And so as you're spawning off the boats, you're getting killed. And so I thought that was kind of difficult. I think there needs to be something adjusted there to where you can't, you know, get right there beside the boats, that it should be an off-limit zone for the defenders. But overall, I mean, you got a lot of trench warfare. The two hot flags on this map are Duff and Butter. That's where a majority of the fighting, I think, happened. And so if you're, you know, you have a squad that wants to fight between those two flags, you're going to be assured you're going to get a lot of kills, you're going to get a lot of heals, and you're going to get a lot of ammo reloads, that sort of stuff from your support guys. So it's a good way to get the points up and, you know, provide a lot of action. But yeah, overall, I thought the map was pretty good. You know, I don't really have a ton of complaints about it, and I thought it played pretty well for Conquest Assault. So this next map that we got to play was Achi Baba. Now, Achi Baba was an infantry map, and as you could tell, there's a lot of ravines, a lot of coverage in this map, and it's very hilly. So there is verticality to this map. As you can see, it is 5 flags. So, and this is Conquest, okay? So we got to play normal Conquest on this. Now, one thing to note is if you look at the E flag, look at C and D, as you're approaching E from either of those flags, you have a lot of channels, a lot of lanes, choke points that you see, and we saw a lot of that in the fighting. A lot of tight fighting, a lot of multiple kills that can be picked off there between those flags. This is an overhead view of each of the flags. This is your Apples flag here, followed by Edward, which they both are very similar in terms of they're kind of in the ravine areas there. Duff here is amongst some ruins, the most open of the flags, followed by Charlie here. This would be Butter. Butter's, you know, revolves around this trench there, and then of course is back at Apples again. So you're gonna get an idea of what each of the flags look like. All right, so what was my overall view of Achi Baba? Well, I enjoyed this map a lot, and probably of the two, this was my favorite. Probably because it was more infantry focused, and that's, you know, I like infantry type maps as opposed to the full vehicle maps. There was people that had reservations of this map because of the fact that, you know, they didn't think it was a true representation of Battlefield. But, you know, I think that Battlefield should have a nice mix of infantry and full vehicle maps. So, you know, they gave us a map that had some vehicles in it, including airplanes and behemoths, and then they give us this map that didn't have that. And so, you know, it was strictly infantry fighting. I like the terrain on this map a lot. I think that once they add the textures to this map, which I would really love to see, I think this map will be gorgeous. It ran well. I thought it played well overall. I didn't really feel that it was, you know, balanced to one side or the other. I thought that if, you know, if you're one of those type of guys that likes playing these kind of choky point kind of maps, I think at least between the Edward, Duff, and Charlie flag, I think you'll have a lot of fun with that. I think it does provide a good range of different styles of fighting overall, and you know, I think it'll give you enough cover so that it doesn't feel like you're getting raped by snipers all the time. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this map a lot, and as you can tell, you know, it was just really neat how they put this map together. So guys, thanks for watching. I do appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed this overview of these two new maps that will be in the Rising Tide DLC. You know, this is a good opportunity for community members to come in, provide direct feedback to the developers right there, and you be able to kind of, you know, test these out and see how they played. And it's a good first view of kind of what, you know, the developers do with these maps, as you don't get to see an early development map like this often. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. You know, if you got any questions, please drop in the comments and I'll try to answer them if I can. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like, and I appreciate the subscribes, guys. So thank you very much. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you out there on the battlefield. Bye-bye.